Tether issues a grant to print 250 million more coins. VeChain announces the very first ICO to hit its platform in Player. Steve Wozniak believes that Ethereum is the new Apple. Binance becomes one of the first major coins to reach a new all-time high since January. Switzerland looks into issuing a national crypto. Hello EOS to create a 1 billion Chinese yen fund to nurture ecosystem development. Bitcoin mining is estimated to consume 0.5% of the world's electricity in 2018. Warren Buffett is being trolled on a billboard for his crypto stance. We've got all your headlines mixed with some daily market analysis. I'm Elio Trades, and your FUD TV Daily Update starts now. Welcome back, FUD Nation. What's going on, guys? We are going to dive in here. Of course, we can see we're at 375 billion, and the story has been that we've steadily been kind of slip and sliding back. We can see that we're up here at about 471 billion, which is pretty impressive, you know, on the road to 500, the road to 500. But obviously, guys, of course, we hope it starts bulling today, tomorrow. We hope we get this late May bull run. We hope that Tron's able to generate a lot of excitement. All of these mainnets coming out are able to generate a lot of excitement. But right now, it looks like the Bitcoin TA is showing that price could go as low as 5,800. So I'm prepared emotionally for that, hoping still for the best, prepared for the worst. Now, our biggest gainer of the day on the charts is easily Binance here, and you can see this movement it's done in the last day or so. Look at this. It was sitting here at about 158,000, 159,000 Satoshi, and it shot right up to over 200,000. They actually did announce that they're going to be doubling their referrals for people who hold over 500 BNB coins. And of course, one BNB coin right now today will run you $15. So Binance Coin and exchanges continue to hold value even on down days. Even when there's a lot of downward selling action, you're still doing trades and creating fees on Binance. So they're happy about it. So exchanges can do really well. Even as market dips happen, they can do particularly well. In our lead news out of the day, we have word that Tether, which is of course the stable coin that's longest been in existence and trading on many well-known exchanges under USDT, was printed en masse this morning to the tune of 250 million new coins. And of course, just seconds after this happens, what we saw was a dramatic increase to the tune of 1 whole percentage in the Bitcoin price, which is evidenced right here on this chart. These green candles came just seconds after the $250 million grant was fulfilled and 250 million new Tether were printed. So we know for a fact that this was a direct result of the printed Tether, and it calls into question again what Tether is up to and what this new Tether is being created from. Again, we know that the relationship between Tether and their auditor did kind of dissolve at some point last year. Obviously, we've had assurances that every USDT is backed by an actual US dollar. However, there are other competitors now coming in and showing that they're trying to offer that very same service, but instead of just having to believe them that they have this done in the background, what we're having is with TrueUSD, every US dollar is actually locked up in a smart contract. And supposedly, in the future, you're going to be able to redeem your TrueUSD for USD via smart contract. By locking up your TrueUSD, you can release the real USD. The addition of this $250 million in Tether now brings the total Tether supply to 2.7 billion that are circulating globally. And we're supposed to believe right now that USDT Tether has somehow $2.75 billion in a bank account sitting somewhere. I don't know, but we have not seen those bank accounts is the problem. And so we just have to take their word for it. It's becoming increasingly difficult to trust. And to be honest, there's a good reason why the community does have a healthy skepticism towards this stablecoin. Like we said, there are other stablecoins coming into the mix like TrueUSD, but obviously they had their own problems. And there's other ones like DAI from MakerDAO, which is going to be supposedly adopted into Request Network, OmiseGo, and many other places already. So there's going to be other ways to approximate a stable currency. Alchemint, I believe, is part of the Neo ecosystem. Regardless, there's just going to be many options here. So hopefully if this nonsense around Tether continues and it continues to be this very opaque operation where we don't know how, when, or why this money's coming from and we can't see and track its effect through the market, then I think we'll start moving on to other more transparent systems. And VeChain announced the very first ICO to launch on their platform in Player, which is actually not what you'd expect from VeChain, or not what I would have expected from VeChain. It's actually an esports ecosystem geared towards cultivating an entire amateur esports ecosystem where up-and-coming esports talent can sort of get monetized on various behaviors without becoming pros. there's a sort of lower level or I guess at every level of play, there's an ability to monetize and to interact with the blockchain to receive more value for the value you're creating as a player. Their ICO has a hard cap of 30 million, which is actually pretty high. And another cool thing about this ICO is they're trying to take at least 80% of it in VeChain Thor VET tokens. So very interesting stuff. I'm very hyped, very excited by VeChain's marketing and all that, but I try to keep myself calm because the reality is that VeChain is still a very sizable cryptocurrency already. It's in the top 20. I've heard other people say that it's overpriced, even though it's super great cryptocurrency. I've heard that in their opinion, it's not currently reflecting where it is in the market, where it is in its build cycle. It's more reflecting future value. So that could be the case a little bit, and it might take some time for VeChain to really swell in value. But regardless, what we're seeing is a rapidly emerging titan of the industry that's not just focusing on supply chain logistics or anything in particular, but they're being a platform for everything. And now they have so much money and access. They're like, oh, what are the hot sectors? Let's do gaming. And we can probably expect to see other interesting projects coming out of VeChain as just more of an enterprise platform that's supporting any kind of token. And our guy, Mr. Steve Wozniak, aka the Woz, went to bat for Ethereum, saying that this could be the new Apple. And I'm very excited because obviously he's a thought leader in the space, and it's always going to catch a headline when someone like Steve Wozniak weighs in on cryptocurrency. But it just shows you, do you consider Steve Wozniak to be someone who's dumb, emotional, a gambler, these types of things? He's an engineer. The smartest people in the world saying unbelievably flattering things about what is the new industrial revolution, which I believe is a term he used as well. Now, do I believe him that he's right that Ethereum is going to become the next Apple? I'm certainly bullish about Ethereum and their future, especially in light of the new announcement by the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance that they're going to be introducing interoperability. However, I still believe there's going to be a lot of competition from EOS, from Cardano, from Icon, from a lot of platforms. Now we're looking at VeChain putting out amazing ICOs, which we'll talk about in just a second. But hey, there's going to be a lot of competition for being the Apple or being the App Store, if that's how you had thought about it. We got the Woz now, guys. What else do you want? And we have word that the Swiss government is researching their own state-issued digital currency. Of course, this isn't tremendously surprising. We all know that this is a matter of time. Printing, transporting, storing, guarding money is this antiquated and senseless process that really has no place in our modern society. We all know that the future is in creating digital currencies, transferring them at the speed of the internet, the speed of data transmission, and we know that this is coming soon. So this is just more of the same. And of course, as soon as people are on sort of digital currencies and understanding that they're using cryptocurrencies and that it's not so foreign and that the government has said, yeah, this is cool, this is okay. Not only our government, but every government. It looks like America is sort of working its way up to a digital currency as well, sort of behind the scenes. I think that that's going to let people very much so emotionally, the sort of normal people across the society who aren't like investors or anything like that, they'll open their minds to what it means to sort of be swapping currencies around. And I don't think it'll be considered as weird or some crazy investment scheme or anything like that. It'll just be considered pretty normal and just like swapping cash for coupons or something. And the Hello EOS development community has just reached an agreement with Yangtze Delta Region Institute of Tsinghua University and the BIC Capital and Funyun Capital groups promoting the development of EOS ecosystem. What am I trying to say here? They created a fund of 1 billion Chinese yen. And that's in addition to the already multi-billion-dollar war chest that EOS has assembled. This is an incredible, incredible thing that's happening here. Just the amount of capital being centralized around a big, big goal. We can only imagine that whatever EOS is planning, it's nothing small. And a new study shows that Bitcoin mining is consuming up to 0.5% of the world's electricity. I love Bitcoin. But this is a problem that we need to figure out how to work through. We have finite resources on this planet, and Bitcoin is going to be an amazing resource. But is there a way that we can secure Bitcoin, that we can create a proof of work or a fair creation mechanism for Bitcoin that allows Bitcoin the maximal chance of longevity and dispersion, decentralization? What is the right way to do this? Because proof of work in the current mining system, that's one solution. And I'm not saying that I know the better solution. I'm just saying that I believe there's gotta be a better way than this, because right now what we're seeing is just a drainage of one of our world's most precious resources. And we all know that that's contributing probably largely to a bit more heating, a little bit more carbon, a little bit more global warming. So to be honest, this is something that we need to address as a community. It's something that we need to talk about, be open to working through. It's just going to be very difficult to do because Bitcoin is just going to continue to go up in value. And the financial incentive for mining is just going to continue to skyrocket to the point where who knows how high this energy consumption could get. Maybe Bitcoin one day will be consuming 10% of the world's electricity. And we have to ask ourselves, is that right? Is that something that's good for our planet? Is that something that's going to help us as humans? Because that's what Bitcoin was fundamentally about, was helping us as a society. It was providing a financial freedom, but at what cost? And right now we're looking at an environmental cost that's starting to look pretty staggering, pretty stark. So we need to ask ourselves what we're willing to sacrifice for this financial freedom and whether we're willing to look at the process and examine to see if there's something better out there. And I personally am of the belief that there's got to be a better way than this. And just to have a little fun here at the end of the episode, leave things on a lighter note, here's a little billboard of a Bitcoin miner trolling Warren B about how he didn't understand Google, he didn't understand Amazon, and we all know he doesn't get Bitcoin. So enjoy it. Warren Buffett is being trolled with some old school advertising that I'm sure even he might feel affected by. I feel like every day Binance and VeChain are in the news with something amazing happening. I can't get enough of these two projects, among others, obviously. We didn't even cover that Ontology put out a new release. It's just so minor, but at the same time, just more proof that they're so close to releasing that mainnet. So don't be surprised if they release their mainnet here in May. Obviously, guys, it's the end of the episode, but it's never over between us. We have two ways we're gonna keep in contact now. We're back on Twitter, Twitter's live, and we got the comments, guys. Let's move this down to the comments and let's talk about everything that went on today. Obviously, if you're new around here and you're not subscribed to the station, we encourage you to hit that subscription button and be sure to touch that bell notification so you're made aware whenever we put out new content. I'm Elio Trades. It's been absolutely amazing having you guys with me today on FUD TV, and I'll see you very soon on the next episode.